Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Showers Online. We'll give everyone a minute or two to come in. Brandon, welcome. Adrian, welcome. I see Bob. Welcome, Bob. Audrey, welcome to Showers Online. We'll wait 1 minute and then we'll get started. I definitely want to make sure that we are respectful to your time. So we'll try to get as started as timely as possible. However, we do want to make sure that we cover the different functionalities and features within Showers Online. We do have a lot of new features and also some teasers for what's to come within Showers Online. Rafael, hi Rafael. I remember you from Glass Entrances. Welcome.
Mhm.
Welcome. Okay. Um, I see we do have a pretty small group today, but again, in respect to your time, we will go ahead and get started. We'll let the stragglers come in as we are recording this session, and we'll be sharing these with you tomorrow. So again, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. This is your go-to Showers Online webinar. We conduct these webinars bi-monthly. And of course, we have our expert at hand, which is Miss Fiona Van. I'm just going to go through some brief introductions, and then once the introductions are over, I will go ahead and give some ground rules. So my name is Yancy Salinas. I manage the online programs. We have Showers Online, Storefronts Online, Glass Entrances, and we have Railings Online. But we do have a large population of users within Showers Online. So we want to show you what such a great tool it is. And not because I manage the program, but it definitely is the best out in the market. So with that, Fiona, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I like how small the group is because it's gonna be a lot of questions that you guys can ask that I can go through. So my name is Fiona. I'm currently the shower door and transactions team lead for or manager for CRL. I have been with the company almost 5 years now, and when we first starting with the webinar, a lot of people have so many questions. We receive a lot of great feedback, and the tools are always improving. So please give us a lot more comments, a lot more feedback. It's cultivate to you and your liking. So yeah, please speak up and then we'll try our best to meet your standard. Yeah.
Perfect. So
Yep.
along the process, as we're going through the motions within Showers Online and designing a project and kind of highlighting a lot of the different key features, Fiona will be checking in with me to see if there's any questions. Please feel free to share your questions either on the chat or the QA. I will be monitoring both. If there's questions that I can answer offline and type those in and send them directly to you, I will do so. But if there's questions when it comes to design or technical information, we will wait until Fiona checks in with me so I can go ahead and give those questions that she can demonstrate right there and then live. Okay, so with that, thank you for joining us again. And Fiona, please take it away.
Of course. Thank you, Yancy. I'm gonna go ahead and start sharing my screen first. Um, Close this down, close this down. Okay, so when you're first signing into Shower Online web base, this is going to be your interface. If you do have Citrix and you are new with web base, everything that you have on Citrix will be automatically synced into web base, so you don't have to duplicate your work again. Um, Another thing is that when you do have Shower Online and entrance petitions, is going to be merging two together. So if I'm clicking all, it's going to show me both showers projects and entrance petitions project. But now today we're only focusing on showers. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on showers. One of the good feature that we just introduced recently is the code and sales number. So with this, you click on it, you will be able to search any project using code and cell number that you have. Additionally, when we are searching it up without using code and sales number, you can type in anything. Let's say if I'm typing in test, all of the projects that are tests going to pop up for me. If I go ahead and delete it, everything's just gonna be going back to normal, right? So of course I'm gonna go very top to bottom, left or right, left to right. The first thing first is this is basically the three stripe menu stripe. When you're signing in first time and you don't have a logo yet, this is going to be the default logo of a company. So you would need to change your logo first things. Once you change your logo, I'm gonna go to ID number. All of the ID number when you create a new projects are default. And then you're gonna be able to have a project name, a customer, location, descriptions of the project, quantity, date entered, status, and then the pricings of the total project that you just create. And the code or cell number will be prompted up on the right hand side as well. So over here, if you can see the filter sign over here when you hover your mouse over, that means you can filter it out. It can be waiting, some status of the code can be are bidding or something similar. So the day enter filter is gonna be the same thing. You can filter any day that you want it to be. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump in and start creating a shower. Over here on the right hand side, you're gonna click plus new. You're gonna select showers. When you select shower, it's gonna prompt out the three tab just like this for you. Go ahead and enter your project name. I'm just gonna be doing test Fiona today. Customer name, project ID is already automatically default populate for you, right? So over here on the project side, you're gonna be able to enter locations. We have a list for you, project code. Owner is default because that's my site in name. There's quantity that you can increase. They enters and then the status, right? So site detail, you can also enter it here with contact and phone number as well. The second tab would be code if you do have anything that you want to enter. So of course, they coded by whom, address, phone number, contact informations, all of those will be able to enter over here. Order tab, the same thing. This is more like order for this project. So it's going to ask you for delivery method, the date, and the time. The next one would be private notes. Private notes is something that's not going to show on the report, not going to show on customer end when you enter it in. So it's just for internal notes only. And of course, the last thing would be the descriptions. This is basically the descriptions of the code itself, and it's going to be showing up on the code report, which I'm going to be able to show you later. I'm just going to put it in Fiona right now. Okay, so whenever you enter all of the informations over here, I'm going to go ahead and click on Design Shower. And it's going to prompt you to the layout template. We create a list of templates for most popular custom most popular template of our customer that they send it to us, right? However, you will be able to do anything that are customized on your end. We have inline over here, right angle 90-degree. We have neo angle over here. We have a single door, double door, bifold, single sliding or double sliding over here. And we also have door shape, straight, if there's an angle, if it's going to be hinge, it's going to ask you if it's hinge left or hinge right. Or if you have sliding, it's going to ask you if you want to slide from the left or from the right. And then of course on the top you're gonna have transom. If going to be no transom, there's gonna be fixed transom, operable transom, or head gap or stack transom. You can select however you want it to be. So all of these are basically already cultivated for you, and you can select from the list drop down. However, if you can't find anything that to your liking, you can go ahead and click blank layout, and it's gonna prompt you to a layout basically layout tab. Over here you will be able to select any kind of layout that you want. So first thing first, I'm gonna start something simple. For example, I'm gonna do a return panel, which means this is going to be the 90 to the next panel, 90 degree to the next panel. Over here, I'm gonna add a side panel. And you can see that when I select return panel, this automatically have a 90 degree over here on top. And the shower type also changed to a right angle, which is a 90 degree, right? So the next one, I'm gonna go ahead and do a door hinge right. Drop it over here. And then I'm gonna do another side panel over here. So right now I have 4 panel. Let's say if I wanna add a rig, I can add it over here and over here. If I want to select if there's going to be left wall, both walls, or right walls, I will be able to select over here. Now, if I want to go into the panel itself to be more specific, I can click on the panel and basically go through what I want to edit on that panel. I can add a fixed transom, operable transom, or I can do a head gap on top of my side because I'm selecting a side panel right now. But for this one, let's do something simple. I'm gonna go ahead and add a notch left top. So over here, I would be able to add a left notch top over here. I can also do double if I want it to be or triple. I'm gonna go ahead and keep it simple for this one. And of course, you can also add nips as well over here. Let's say I'm gonna add this to be top left fall. I can do none, so let's go back to normal. Once I'm done with the first panel, I can move on to the next panel. It's going to prompt me to the junction between panel 1 and 2. So over here, because I select this as return, there's going to prompt up as 90 degree for me. So I can basically look to see if how I want this intersection to be. I can do either no overlap miter, or I can do no overlap square. It's gonna look weird. Or I can just keep the same left panel overlaps. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep the same. If you do change anything from the default, it's going to lock it for you. So you know that this has been changed. If you wanna unlock it, it's gonna go ahead and change back to the default return panel that the program suggested. Okay, so once you're done, you can review everything. If you're going to pick miter or square, you can also basically change the angle of the glass as well. Let's say if I'm putting here at 45, it's going to change this to 45 and it's also locked because you already edited over here. If I unlocked it and put it at 0 again and unlocked it, it's going to go back to normal, right? So the degree of 45 is gone now. Once you're done, you can move on to the next panel. So of course, on the next panel, you're gonna be able to select the same thing again for that panel. And then to the next junctions between panel number 2 and 3, now it's going back to 180. So you can see over here it's at 180. If I want to change this glass, let's say 22.5, I can change it and it's going to automatically edit on the right hand side miter so that it can be aligned. So it's going to automatically calculate it for you. If I want to delete this to 0 and go back to normal, I can also change this to 0 back again, right? So moving on to the next would be the door. So it's over here, it's going to ask you for door hinge, right? You want it to be swing directions in and out or both, right? So you can select whatever you want it to be. And it's going to also ask you for transom specifications if you want fixed transom, operable transom, or stacked transoms. So once you select all of the specifications for door, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the junction between 3 and 4, and then the same thing, the side over here, panel number 4. Once you select all of the applications laid out for this specific showers, we can go ahead and click next. It's gonna prompt you to the next design tab. Over here, you will be reviewing a lot of the applications for the shower. First thing first is the hardware custom style. We select basically a list for all of our customer of the most popular style that we have. So we have channel for different type of hinge, clamps for different kind of hinge. I'm gonna go ahead and clamp Vienna. And then I can select the finish over here as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and do matte black for this one. The kind of glass, we do have a list of glass for you to select. I'm just gonna put it at 3A for this one for now. You can also select the coating. For the panel, in each panel, you should be able to be selecting what kind of glass for each panel. So let's say you want 3A clear for the first panel and then half-inch clear for the second panel. You will be able to select per liking, right? So once you're done, you're gonna be able to select glass supplier. I have a list over here that I put in default. There's nothing in there, but I'm gonna put it as standard supplier for now. You can also select the head support type over here. I'm not gonna select anything just yet. And then over here is when you have a head support type, it's gonna automatically extend to the ceiling for you. Measure method
Mhm.
is always going to be center line glass. We have a default for every shower, but however, you can change it depend on how you measure for your showers. Door width also default at 28 per industry standard, but you can change it to anything per your liking. Gap in the door is the same thing, 716. We have a default, but you can change it as well. Of course, over here, you're gonna be able to overall tray offset. You can edit this and then you can also show elbow over here. However, you can also do it in measurement grid, which I'm gonna go ahead and show you in a bit later. On the bottom, of course, is a repetitive information. Again, it's gonna ask you if you wanna add rec on the left-hand side or if you wanna go ahead and add rec on the right-hand side or not. And the same informations over here. Once you finish with the first detail tab under design, you can move on to the measurement grid. So over here, repetitive information's asking you again to double check if you want it to be centerline, what's the door width, gap in the door, all of these informations all over again. Over here, I'm gonna keep it simple first and then going to enter the dimensions of the shower. As you can see over here on the left hand side and on the right hand side, it's gonna be color coordinated. So whatever I'm entering on the left hand side going to be the same at the right hand side, or you can also edit and enter it in on the right hand side as well. So let's say I'm gonna do height at, go ahead, Yancy, do you have anything to add?
No, I was just agreeing. You know, we try to make it as simple as possible, and to everyone's different preferences, we try to accommodate as much as possible, and definitely very customizable.
Yeah. So over here, I'm gonna enter a little more complicated kind of dimensions. Um, I'm gonna do width at 11, 630, 11, 16. I'm gonna do the width of C, which is the entire thing over here at 56 and 5A. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do the height D in total. It's going to be 74 and 1A. You see, when I'm entering this as 74 and 1A, one dimensions, the dimensions of G's is automatically calculated for me. I'm gonna go ahead and enter the width of E over here, this little notch over here, width at 5 and 9/16. And then on the F hand side, this height of the wall, I'm gonna go ahead and do 19 and 5A. Okay, so now I have all the dimensions. I do have an out of level on the top of G, and I do have an out of level on the H1 as well over here. So it's going up. What I have been doing for this one, and this is actually a real project, is that they have an hour plumb on this side. So which means this corner right here is actually slanted. So I'm going to edit that. A couple things that I want to edit is that on the project itself, there's going to be the C, which is this over here. They do have an out level of 1A. So I'm going to go ahead and enter 1A out level on the C dimensions, which means this slope down right here. So when I enter 1A and click on enter, it's going to ask me where do I want the slope to be? Is it from the left to the right or the right to the left? So I'm going to select the one that I wanted. I also want to do the height out of plumb D, 74 and 1A. I want it to be out of plumb over here, a 1/4 inch. So I'm gonna go ahead and enter an out plumb 1/4 inch. And then same thing again, I can either tab, it's going to ask me the same thing, where do I want it to be out plumb at? So I can select per liking. So D right now has an out plumb of a 1/4 inch, okay? And then last thing I want to add is our plumb on this wall right here on the F. So I did the dimensions already. So this, the customer previously wanted an out plumb of 15. So same thing when it's out plumb, tapped it, you will be able to see it's gonna ask you where do you want it to be out plumb. Is it gonna be on the left or on the right hand side? So you can always select it. See? Okay, so once everything is confirmed, you can see that after I enter all the dimensions of out of plumb and out of level, the out of level on G over here and the one on H over here are also level out at 0. So it's straight right now. So this is the showers that I want it to be. A lot of the time you will be able to enter show elbow, you'll be able to enter the elbow as well. Something simple that I can show elbow on the, let's say on the A side, I can do 5 elbow length and it's gonna ask me over here, elbow square. I can enter something simple, just for example, at 1A, and it's going to ask me how I want it to be elbow out. So elbow length is basically telling me from the bottom to top, how what's the length of the elbow. So it's I put it at 5. So 5 inch down is going to be straight, and then the square of the elbow is going to be 1/8 out. So this is the explanations of the elbow for the left hand side A sections dimensions. I'm gonna go ahead and do this as 0, so keeping it simple for everyone right now. And then on the bottom, when you scroll down, you're gonna be able to edit base width. So you'll be able to edit all of the slope on the base over here and also the dimensions of each glass panel. So over here, glass length on void is 28. So I'm just gonna keep everything as is for now. Not gonna change anything at all, but you can definitely change your door size, your side panel size. So once you're finished with this, you can go ahead and dismiss the pop-up. And then we can go ahead and click onto the head slope. I usually will check this either way. The head slope going to show you where the slope is at, but because everything is level for our dimensions, so right now it's going to be going an outage at 0. However, you can change the outage per liking. If you're gonna change the outage over here and it's not adding up, it's going to prompt up a message saying that you can't change it because the dimension over here and over here makes the outage is at 0 right now. So that's one thing to notice. And of course, it's going to show you the elbow length, outage to elbow again, but you can also close it down. Okay, so once you're editing everything over here, we're gonna go ahead and go back to the shower itself. Once you go back to the showers, we can go ahead and review all of the things that entered earlier. When going on the detail, I put it as clamps Vienna, so it's automatically putting all of the hardware for me. So we have Vienna hinge, the clamps, the most popular clamps that we have that have the same profile as Vienna and the pull handle. So it's automatically adding it in for you. And now the gap on your door is 716 per default. So now when we jump into note, if you have any installations note, you can go ahead and enter it over here. Installation. Okay. I'm just gonna put something simple over here, and of course you can add on the glass border note as well. Once you finish with this, I usually hit save because I don't want my computer to die and not hitting anything. So I usually hit save at this point, and then usually when you hit save, if there's any issues with the glass or if with the project, it's gonna prompt up a serious warning or the warning for you in general. So I would highly reading through the warning and understanding it. So basically, once you're done reading it and click directly onto the showers, you would be able to go into the tab that will help you to change it. So over here, I'm gonna go ahead and change the head support type to clamps so that this is gonna extend to ceilings. Reapply, please. When I click reapply, it's gonna be automatically apply all of the required clamps for me to make the shower work. I do need to double check a lot of the thing because this is a lot of clamps for me. I don't think I need that many clamps, so I would go ahead and double check everything. However, it's going to apply the same finish that you pre-selected previously. Okay, so over here, I'm gonna go ahead and remove this clamps. I don't think we need it here. So I'm gonna go ahead and double click on this clamp and then select cut out. It's going to prompt me to the location of the clamps directly. So this is how I usually read it. Of course, which panel is the clamps at right now? Panel number 1, right? And then the edge of this is on the top. Position is manual positions. And then because we already default the clamps positions, it's going to be automatically adding these in for you, especially the cutout type, right? If you want to edit, let's say you want the hole to be 3 1/4, you want it to be 5/8, you will be able to edit over here. So once you edit it, it's going to change to 5/8 for you right here. Oh, sorry, swap diagram. So the diameters now is going to be 5/8. And then first hole inward is 3 1/4. So it's going to give you first hole from the edge of the glass to the middle of the hole is going to be 3/4. You can also edit it to however you like it as well. But because this is default for us, it's our hardware, so it's going to be staying there as default. So once I review everything, I don't really like the clamps to be there. I can click back to the clamp itself and then select to remove the clamps. I can decrease the quantity back to 11, decrease quantity, and then let me see and remove this completely. Not in use. There we
You can
go.
click the remove on the
So now,
top right hand, also on that screen, so you can remove
yeah,
that specific clamp. Yep.
wait. This one just removed completely.
Yeah, that one will remove all of the clamps together
Oh,
altogether.
all the clamps. Gotcha. So I want to remove just one clamps. So I'm gonna go ahead and add all the clamp back now. So when I add her, I'm sorry, I skip ahead a lot. So when you're wanting to add hardware, you can click on add hardware. I usually know my products, so I'm gonna go ahead and look up the SKU number. However, if we do section everything out for you. If you are looking for something that you don't know, let's say you just wanna look for support bar, you can type in support and then it's going to prompt up all of the support bar component or header that we have over here for you. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and click dismiss pop-up because I add the the map like SU4 already. I'm gonna go in and add in, I think I'm gonna add in about 8 clams right now and saved it. So over here, I'm gonna start adding clams for the showers. The first thing I'm gonna do is click on the clams that I just add that don't have a locations. On the panel itself, I'm gonna select panel number 1 because I want to select it at panel number 1. Edge, I'm gonna do one at the top. I want one on the top over here. I'm gonna do it center along edge so that it's going to be in the middle. Everything is already default for me. I don't need to do anything anymore, and I can go back to add the second one. I want 2 in the bottom right now, so I'm gonna go fast and do edge, bottom. I want it to be manually positioned. I'm gonna do something that are like 6 from the left of the edge. So it's going to prompt the clamps to 6 inch away from the edge right now. Okay, so add a
Mhm.
second one. Let's go with the third one. Bottom, manually positions 6. Now I'm gonna change this to the right hand side. So it's gonna prompt this to the right hand side instead. Save this. Okay. And then I'm gonna add one to the bottom on the second panel. Edge over here, top. And then positions, let's go center it. Save this, go back, and then add the second one as well. So I am doing this so I can show you guys how it worked. But definitely, when you are selecting the hardware itself, it's supposed to be automatically putting everything into you without you have to do all of these manual work. Save this. I'm gonna go back.
Yes, typically this is something that you can do when you're selecting your custom hardware and you want to position it yourself manually instead of having the tool use its intuitive features and position it for you because the tool is designed so that it meets all of our one industry standards. Two, it supports all of our hardware. So it's going to position the hardware where that project, like for example, based on the length, based on the width, based on the pounds. So that's where the hardware is being positioned. But with that being said, it doesn't mean that you can't do it manually to remove things that you think the tool is not positioned it incorrectly or just want a different look to your project overall.
Yeah, thank you, Yancy. Almost there. I just need to
Of
add
course.
another top on panel number 4. I'm gonna go ahead and position this at 4 inch to the left. And then going back and do the same thing for the bottom. Manually positions 4 inch to the left. There we go. Okay, so now I want to move this one to not center anymore. I'm gonna go ahead and do this 4 inch to the right hand side. So it looks a little bit nicer. Same thing.
You're going to change the top two?
Yeah. Oh,
Perfect.
this one is already positioned. So I'm gonna select the second one. Top, let's see. Positions 4 inch to the right hand side. There we go, saved it. So now it's saved, but it's prompting up to me on the right hand corner that I still have a warning. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on that. It's basically asking me to add more clamps on top of panel number 1 and then 2 more clamps on the base of the panel number 2. So I have to increase and add 2 more over 3 more actually. Be here. Let's see, this one, I'm gonna position this to 4 on the left, and then this to 4 on the left as well. The 2 edge to the top. 4 to the right-hand side. And this to panel number 2, bottom 4 to the right-hand side. I see a lot of people asking questions, right, Yancy?
No, actually, you're being pretty clear.
That's
I only have one question
good.
that says, is this specific to only CRL hardware? Yes, it is. The program Showers Online only has CRL hardware, so it's a parts our hardware. We We sell the hardware. We're just providing you with a platform or a different channel for you to design and place your orders directly because this tool is not only a design tool or a tool where you can go ahead and we provide you with the glass drawings for your glass fabricator, but you can also place your orders directly in the tool. So it takes away from you having to also live within the website or going to the website to convert any quotes that are created within the online programs to the website. You can convert them directly here. And we will show you in a little bit what that looks like.
Perfect. So I do have to moderate warning, and that's because I did edit some settings on the panel number 1 and then panel number 2, which I'm gonna show you in a minute. So once I select all of the hardware and all the serious warning are gone, I'm safe to move on to the next tab, which is the cutout tab. So when I click on the cutout tab, it's basically giving me the same informations again for the hardware. You will be able to see where's the hardware at. So example, if I'm hover my mouse to the Vienna 180, it's going to highlight on the right hand side where's the Vienna 180 are at. Right. So if I'm going move down to this locations, it's going to show me what's the Vienna 180 locations are at and vice versa for all of the other hardware that we have. So you can definitely go ahead and click on that specific thing, and it's going to prompt you to the same dimensions or the locations of the hinge or clamps itself. Once you're done with that, I can go ahead and move back to the cutout tab. Over here is more directly to glass cutout, so you're gonna be able to add any other custom cutout if you wanted to. So these are custom, let's say you are using our hardware, but you want to have a different cutout, this is where you want to enter. Okay, so once you're done with that, over here you can also edit coding for the glass itself. All of the coding that we have over here are pretty common in the industry. So this is where you're going to be able to edit it. Last thing is editing corner of the glass. Over here we have some radius corner, angle corner, or remove any corner that we just add recently or previously. So this come in handy when it comes to very creative design that one of like some of our customer have when it comes to glass. So once you finish all of those, I would highly recommend to review everything again, and then we can move on to the panel tab. So for panel tab, this is where you're going to be review everything on the panel again. So this is more a glass order type of thing, glass drawing kind of thing. So first thing first, it's going to show you the overview of the glass. So panel type, and then what kind of glass, logo, position, supplier. On the next tab, it's going to show you the dimensions of the entire shower. And then panel edge over here is where you're going to be able to edit the clearance. So for SEU4, because we already have it default at the tight gap at 316 for this selections, so it's going to be having a tight gap of 316 on the left edge right now. So you're gonna be able to edit the cut method, style, miter, finish. But if you want to say change the tight gap to 116, you can also do that as well. Because I already edited, it's going to lock for me, which means that this has been edited compared to the default that we have. If you want to go back to normal, click on it and it's going to be unlocked and it's going to change back to the default tight gap that we recommended for this specific hardware. So over here, you can also go through, you have left edge, the bottom edge, the right edge, the top edge, and then because you have the the vertical edge over here is going to show up to you what's the type gap on here as well, and what kind of like things that are going to attach it to the wall, which is in this case is silicones. And now also the top left notch horizontal right here. So in here, you will be able to see it's also color coordinated compared to the left hand side and right hand side. So you will be able to review it a little bit more easily. So next tab would be cutout. These are all of the cutout that we selected on this on this panel right now. So it's showing you all of the hardware we're using for the first panel. The next one is going to be panel number 2. You're going to be reviewing everything over again. The most important thing is, of course, I would be focusing on the panel edge because you have gap. You have all these tight gap that you want to review, right? The third thing is also the door panel. It's going to show you what we'll be using on the left edge of the door handle. So there's some, for this handle to glass, there's going to be some stripe wipes, all of those going to be added in. Bottom end, and you can remove it if you don't want it to be added into, right? So over here, review all the clearance all over again, and then you're moving on to the next tab, review everything all over again. Once you finish it, go ahead and hit saved. I usually gonna go back to the hardware tab. A couple things that I usually have to review again or show you guys is when you are creating a project, you will be able to move it 360, right? You can also play animations on this and you will see how it's work. Okay. And then for this is a bird eye view. You're basically gonna be viewing a top view for the showers that you just create. This is just going to prompt up a hardware, oh sorry, a glass cutout for you. Basically, this is just your glass drawings. If you want to show dimensions, it's gonna show dimensions for you over here. And then a couple things that I like to do over here is you can go ahead and copy the showers and then just paste it onto a Word document, or you can print it or you can save it to file, however you want it to be. I'm gonna pause really quick to see if there's any questions, or Yancy, if there's anything you want to jump in.
No, well, there are questions, but I know that we typically cover the whole adding glass supplier, process pricing, glass at the end. So Brendan did have that question. We do have a couple of newcomers to Showers Online, which I want to say welcome. I'm glad that you guys subscribe to Showers Online. You're going to see that definitely the features and the tool itself is the best out in the market. We'll show you where you can add the markup. We'll show you where you can add the glass applier. However, if we don't have an opportunity to cover that before the end of the webinar, you can always reach out to me and I'll be more than happy to kind of guide you. Or if you need a one-on-one training on how to do those items, please feel free to reach out. I can definitely go ahead and schedule a meeting so I can guide you through those items. But
Yeah.
yeah, those are kind of like the only questions. I believe we have
Mm.
two newcomers when it comes to Showers Online, the web version. Yeah, definitely excited for you guys to dive in and play with the system. As you can see, this is a pretty complex project that was sent over by the customer. Fiona was able to highlight one, how we can use our shower hardware style to allow the program to apply all of the hardware based on the hardware specification, and of course the limitations within the glass and so forth. And then also she showed you how you can manually apply the hardware as well, depending on what is your need or what you prefer. So with that, Fiona, did you want to show them how quick and easy it is to quote and then order the hardware, and then I'll cancel the order here?
Yeah, thank you, Yancy. So I'm gonna go ahead
Of course.
save the showers already. I know that it's in there, so I'm gonna go ahead and go back to the project list. It's gonna go back to this 3 tab that we have previously, right? So previously these are grayed out, and now you will be able to select this. So on the View tab, you're gonna be able to see the online code. Usually, this is what our customers send to their customer when they wanna review, because it's gonna highlight how the showers looks like. You can also play animations. There's dimensions as well. So it's gonna be showing the customer how you gonna look, how this gonna look, right? So the next one usually our customer are doing is doing or like printing out the PDF report over here. So there's multiple report that we can print, and you can select or deselect and depend on how you want it to be. But once you finalize the decisions, go ahead and click on View Selected. It's going to generate a report for you. It's downloaded down under the name of the project that I created. So it's first thing first, it's going to have your logo, your code number, project name, and then over here, if you can see, because I add Fiona on the beginning of the code tab, it's going to add the Fiona over here. So anything that you want to edit or add it on top of the code itself is going to show up on the bottom over here.
Fiona,
So
something
the
to kind
code
of
is,
just
yeah.
wanted to highlight something before you continue. So as you can see what Fiona entered, that the little description where it says Fiona, you do see that preview there of giving you information that this is Sierra Lawrence hardware, the glass type and so forth. That I just wanted to mention because I've had calls from customers saying that they wanted to change that. That can't be changed. That is hard coded into the program. So anything that you would like to include, you can include, but you cannot remove this.
Mm, yeah. Okay. Thank you, Yancy.
Of course.
Okay. Next one will be the glass order. You will be able to see the supplier, the project name, the glass order. So over here, you will be able to see the panel number one that we create. What's the glass order look like? All of these little informations that we have. Of course, we're gonna go ahead and scroll down to the template, and then the hardware list that we have over here. And then the last one is the installation sheet over here. Okay, so installation sheet, in the middle of the drawings or the building up the project, I believe I entered the Fiona installations over here. So this is where you're gonna be able to it's gonna show the installations comments for everyone. If you do have any installations comments on here. Okay, so this is how you're going to export your report. The next thing I'm going to show you is going to be how you're going to be able to code this project. So of course, the first thing is click on code/order. It's gonna prompt me directly to the hardware tab because I am Zero is a hardware company. But there's going to be things that you'll be able to edit, for example, the glass over here. Because we don't enter all the pricings for the glass over here, so it doesn't really prompt to show up anything, right? So over here, you will be able to see all the glass pricings, what's the estimates of the entire projects looks like. So you have hardware tab, glass, the surcharge, glass price, labor, accommodation, travel, all of those things. So it's going to be a one-stop shop for you over here. Once you're done with reviewing everything, entering all of the necessary costs, I'm gonna go ahead and enter a testing account number. Once I enter the account number, it's going to show me the stocks inventory for me over here. So I can see that for this, I'll probably have to wait until July 14 in order for me to have this product in. But the other one, we do have a lot of inventory. So it's going to help you to kind of plan your travel or your project a little bit better, right? So once you finish with that, you will be able to click on order and then code hardware, review all of the informations over here. Go ahead and click on code hardware. It's going to take a minute, but it's going to give you a code number. So when it said hardware coded successfully, you will be seeing over here, these are the price of the hardware. Right now, I believe it's only including the total price of the hardware, not anything on Glass or estimates because I didn't enter any additional cost.
Mhm.
So once I'm finished with that and talk to the customer agree and they want to move forward with order, we can click on order and then place order. Because let's say if I don't have any purchase order number, it's going to default using the project ID that I have previously. If I do have a purchase order number, I'm just gonna go ahead and enter it in. So all delivery method, shipping method that you have, go ahead and click on place order. It's going to automatically place an order in our system for us, for you. Sorry. So when it said hardware order successfully, click OK. Go back to the project list. I'm gonna go ahead and hide all the detail over here first. It's going to prompt up the pricings of the project and the order number for you over here. When it's a code, it's going to give you a code number, the date that you coded, which is 25th, June 25th, 2025. I'm gonna go back to this project and then go ahead and see if I can clone this. If I'm gonna want to clone it, there's two options. Either I'm gonna clone all details or just the project header details. So I'm gonna go ahead and clone detail. It's gonna prompt me to the first project that's created, which is gonna say clones and then whatever project name that I just created. Once I review everything, if I don't like it, I can always delete it as well. So once you delete it, it's gone. Over here, I still have the old project that I created. Okay, I'm gonna pause for 1 second to see if Yancy wanna jump in on anything or if there's any questions before we move on to the maintenance tab.
So we only have one question from Bob, and actually I was logging into Showers because quite honest with you, I don't remember if we can customize the finishes. I don't think, oh, you can customize. So on the sandwich menu, which Fiona is going to cover lightly since we are short on time, on the sandwich menu in the top left-hand corner, we do have where you can go ahead and select your preferred colors. That's where you can go ahead and adjust which are your preferred finishes that you would like to use moving forward. You can also do the preferred fittings. So preferred fittings is like the hardware that you would like to use. Fiona, I already canceled the order, by the way.
Oh, got it. No
Just
worries.
yeah, yeah. So on again, anything when it has to do with maintaining, if you can click on the sandwich menu in the top left-hand corner, Fiona.
Yeah.
So
Guide me
you'll
there,
hear.
Yancy.
Yeah, of course. So before we can guide them, I just wanted to give them a little bit of information. So the majority, if you are a basic user, this is not what you're going to be able to see. Typically, only the role assigned as a site admin has the permissions to make changes to the finishes, to the pricing, to the hardware that they want to use. So they are the only ones that can do that. So it's that a specific permission. So typically when we're setting you up, we'll assign that to seat one, unless you tell us that someone else, if you have a total of 4 seats, then if you want someone else to have that access to be able to make those changes, then we can go ahead and sign that role as well. However, please keep in mind to have that clear communication among who those site admins are, because there's been so many times that we've received call to saying, oh, the system is broken or there's something wrong with Showers Online. And it's not necessarily that something is wrong. It's just that one of the site admins changed something on that site and didn't communicate it to the rest of the team, and they're calling to say, hey, this is not working. So just FYI, I wanted to highlight. But here under the sandwich menu, you can scroll down to maintain, and this is where you'll be able to, and then without having to click on it, Fiona, just because we're short on time. So for example, on maintain, you'll be able to see if you wanted to add another item to the estimate. So let's say, for example, if you wanted to do like a miscellaneous charge that you wanted to come up on your quote, you can go into estimate default items and you can add it there. And then if you want to do the markup, because I did see that there was a question in reference to the markup, you can click on estimate default values, and there you would add the percentage of the markup you want to do, whether it's to your glass, to your hardware, as well as if you want to give the customer a discount, you can add that discount on there as well. So as you can see here as well, where you see glass cost and pricing, that's where you can also add the glass cost and pricing overall, which glass types you want within the program. And then also, for example, item templates there. Those are, for example, if locally you typically will have a specific shower, or many customers ask for the specific shower, you want to do your own template using, like, for example, a return, a side, a door, and another return. And then you can go ahead and add it at the hardware if typically they use that hardware, and you can populate that up whenever you need it. So you'd have to create the project all over again. The next line down is the preferred colors, and that's where you can select which finishes you prefer to use primarily, and those will come on top. On the preferred fittings, that's the hardware you prefer to use. For example, if you want to use your Geneva hinges mostly, then the Cologne hinges, you can add those, you can specify, and those will come up in the top as you're searching for those. The process pricing is you add that when you're initially, so there's certain things that you add initially as you're becoming a subscriber or when you open the chat. So you would add your glass suppliers. When you're asking, can you click on the suppliers on
Oh,
further down,
my
Fiona?
bad. Yeah.
Nope, I got you. I got you. It's okay. Suppliers. And the
Mhm.
reason why I wanted her to click on suppliers is because here you can go ahead and add your supplier. So you can click add new, add data information, and then towards the bottom on the left-hand corner, it does allow you to also add your glass process pricing and your glass product pricing. So what's the price for the square foot for a specific glass? So it'll allow you to enter that, and also glass process pricing. How much is your glass supplier or glass fabricator charging you for a hole, a notch, a polished edge? All of those different processes within the glass, you can go ahead and add those, so that when you do send the quote over to your customer, to Fiona's point earlier, it will have both the pricing for all of the glass
Awesome.
and the pricing for the hardware, as well as the markup, so you can have the full experience. We also have a feature here, so because you're sending out the quotes to the customer, where you can go ahead and upload your logo, and that would be under the tab maintain, and then it'll be on site. You click there, and then on the top right hand corner, it does say logo. Believe it's coming up. Her look is completely different because we are
Mhm.
Fiona and I are system admins, but where it says site logo, can you click there on site logo on the top right hand corner? Correct. So once you hover over it, it does display the upload blue button. So you would just click the upload blue button, and they'll take you directly to your file, so you can select where you have the image of your logo. And then moving forward, it's going to go ahead and provide you your quotes with your logo, and not the default logo from our vendor, or even a CRL default logo. Okay. I think I covered no, shipping costs are not provided on here. Like, for example, if you want to add that to the estimate default values, I'm sorry, yeah, if you want to add that there, you can go ahead, and if you have, for example, if you have flat rate shipping, for example, with UPS or a specific provider, just because the tool's not going to be able to calculate that. You can go ahead and specify what that flat rate is for shipping. So you can add it to your estimates. And then if you have a flat rate, just enter that flat rate. And if you want to do an upcharge to that as well, you can also add an upcharge for that as well, if that answers your question. But typically the online program, and that's a first time that I get that question. So great, thank you.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
agree.
Yeah, so yes, that's the only way that I would think that we can add the shipping. The shipping from CRL to you as our customer, no. You'll be able to see the shipping once we invoice the order. Here, it's just we place the order, and you should be receiving the order confirmation and the invoice email directly from us, if that kind of answers your question. I think I covered all of the other questions. Um, we
Yeah,
do have, yeah, we have like a less than a minute, but definitely want to make sure that we make ourselves available to you. So I did share my email. I didn't share Fiona's email, just because typically you can reach out to me and I'll go to her in if it's more of a technical hardware question. Most of the questions I can typically answer myself or I can support. If you have a need for a one-on-one training post this webinar, please feel free to reach out. Or if you still need a little bit, because I know I kind of flew by all those features under maintain, please feel free to reach out and I can go in depth with those, or I can provide you some steps or some how-tos on how to do certain things. Okay. So with that,
yeah.
Fiona,
If
anything
you
else you would you like to add before you end? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, just a quick one. If you do actually have any questions on the hardware, our team is they are very knowledgeable. There we have some new hinges coming out as well. We did release a zero hinge not too long ago, and we received a lot of great feedback on that, as well as a lot of people that are starting to use our zero hinge. So if you wanna testing out something that are right now people are just want to go to like a bigger, better, heavier door. So zero hinge is a great alternative for that. If you do have any questions on the hardware technical side, how to build up a project, the team is very knowledgeable and will be able to assist you as well. So if you can share the email to everyone as well, Yancy.
I did. So I did add on the chat the showers at Lawrence .com email. That's the shared mailbox for the showers team. You can go ahead and email them for free trials, questions on hardware, anything you would like to get more specific information. Even on the tool, if you don't want to email me, hey, we have a plethora of resources in the company that you can reach out to. So please feel free to reach out. And to Fiona's point, just this is just a teaser to before you guys all leave. Fiona mentioned the zero hinges. We will be launching a new hinge within the next month to a month and a half, which is for our bigger jobs because it does have it goes up to 40 inches in width for the panel, and then it's 100 for two hinges, it's 140 pounds, and then for three hinges it's 175 pounds. So definitely great hinge. We as an organization are trying to come up with new and innovative new hardware. So it's a first for us this year. We're introducing a lot of new hardware. So please be on the lookout, not only in showers, but the rest of the programs because we are introducing new systems overall. So again, thank you so much for joining us. I hope that you found this webinar very beneficial and that we were able to answer some of your questions. If not, feel free to email us. Have a great one.
Thank you, everyone.